it feels so cold inside my heart tonight. Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving around tonight, but quick and clean don't make it right.
Start of the day, Ant and I are out. We've walked in. We're on a permission. We're on a farm, in a big paddock that belongs to a farmer, and the whole area is 640 acres. So it's a walk in itself. And the reason you
I'm
can't.
sweating already.
Ant's raised a sweat and put his foot in a drain. So.
Yeah, not happy about that. Muddy boots already.
So we've got off to a slow start on the drive out, suddenly my car started to blow black smoke and I had the hazard lights on, had to U-turn it. It doesn't look good. But all in all, where we are, there's no gold on the surface. What happened is, when this was a squatter's run, and that's how I know it's 640 acres, because it's a square mile and it's what the squatters used to be allocated.
Lucky buggers.
Yeah, so I don't know what my ancestors were doing, scratching their asses when everyone else was gathering up the land.
Yeah.
But anyhow, no surface gold, but here, all the stone here has come from a shallow lead, and it's a buried stream below the ground. They've sunk shafts. It's almost been a deep lead, because on a real shallow lead, they'll sink a heap, they'll sink a shaft, go a certain way, sink another shaft, and so it goes. So when you're up around Maryborough and you're looking at the pipe clay leads, you can see the run of the lead. And when you are in a situation like that, if you see the heaps run and then break and then run again, you know, perhaps when they come out of the bush and across the paddock and then they go back into the bush, it's well worth detecting that paddock, because that means all the collars have been dozed out or scraped out with the tractor, so that the collars have been spread. But anyhow, this is where we ended last week. I got a little bit just over there in the gravel. Yep. Said to Ant, that'll do us. So this is where we're going to start today.
Again.
So have a good look at the ground. When you're wandering around in this paddock, you've got to see stone before you'll find gold. It's a big silty paddock. It's it's a grazing paddock. There's no surface gold. So when you find the stone, that's where you detect for gold. So spread out and see how we go.
That's it.
Righto, Ant. Good luck, mate.
Good luck, buddy.
Good on you, Ant.
Get into it.
Got to pay for a car today. Righto, we've been going quite a long time. I'd say 30 seconds, Ant, you think?
Yeah. I literally just turned my machine on.
So
Glenn calls me over, he goes, hey, I've got a signal.
So I've got a signal. Fits the profile. As I said, you've got to get it in this stone that's come from beneath the ground. There's no gold on the surface. So we'll dig a few rubbish signals, obviously, but nice bit of granite. No, he's planking out a bit more now.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Not now, I think.
So we'll be interested in that. Now if that's not any rubbish, Ant?
Yep. Rust nugget.
Yeah, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Bugger.
Yep. Little nugget, but he's not the right colour.
No.
Still 30 seconds in would have been a bit.
Oh, a new record for you, Glenn.
Would have been a bit rich. Yeah, there, see, you can see now his steel.
Yeah.
I've cleverly spread that on the target area. Righto, mate.
Oh, well,
Thumbs down. Yeah. Still,
onwards.
signals here.
That's it. Next one. Next one.
And got our first find for the day. We've been going 5 minutes. It's not a bit of gold, but it is a button.
Nice.
And there's a couple of things of interest about it. There's some writing around the outside, and it's only got 2 holes. You know, usually they've got 4 holes. Not that I'm an expert at all on buttons. And the reason I like finding buttons, metal buttons like this is, obviously they're of their time, a piece of social history, but when you get a nice little round copper signal like that in the ground, it's no different from the signal you'd get for a piece of gold. So if the button's here and we've found gold here before, why can't there be another little bit of gold? And you might say, oh, button. And I know they're like fat blokes on mowers. They're everywhere, but still, it's something. It's a start.
That's it.
And at the end of the day, if you've got 2 little bits of gold and a button, great little photo.
Yeah.
Righto, Ant.
Good work, mate.
Keep rolling,
Well
mate.
done. Well done, buddy.
Right, this man here is raising a sweat.
Sure am.
He's got a signal here in the stone, and there's quite a lot of signals on this particular heap of stones. I was digging one before and it turned out to be this, which is the end of a pick. So I'm hoping the bloke didn't lose the button off his pants and break the end of his pick on the same day, or he wouldn't have been happy. But whatever. So Ant's got a signal here. We've thrown in a bit of filming early because last week when it was raining, apart from bickering, we didn't get a lot of filming done. So, and as we always say, well, 2 things. Ant can edit it out. You know, you're watching me and you think, geez, Glenn remains calm and composed. You don't see me saying, I'll wrap this bloody detector around the tree if I get one more bit of rubbish. So, and the other reason is, we'd rather film the bit of gold coming, if we're lucky enough, a bit of gold coming out of the ground, than show you a bit of gold and say we found this 5 minutes ago.
That's right. Live digs are always better.
Yeah, they are. Ant's got a lot of enthusiasm for if we're lucky enough to find some. So I'll try and capture the moment.
Where are we? Come on.
We've walked a fair way in. The bloody we've had 2 windstorms in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's devastated the tracks. And so the only way you can get into this paddock that we're in now, it's virtually, as I said, it's a big sheep grazing paddock. There's no stock on it at the moment. It's been rapidly overtaken by the vegetation. The amount of rain we've had, combined with the no use, the bracken and the blackberries and the trees and that, it's really, so these heaps of stones this time next year may not even be accessible. So strike while the iron's hot. And see if we can round up a little bit of stuff.
It's ever elusive. It's running away from me.
There you go. I'll get in close, mate. It's not a bad thing when it gets smaller and smaller in your hand.
I think it's in that heap. That feels pretty heavy in here.
All right. What about that close up, ladies and gentlemen?
It's
Anything,
a
mate?
button or something or other. It's a doomy wacky.
Oh yeah, it's non-ferrous, is it?
Yeah.
Is it a rivet? Yeah, it's a rivet, isn't it?
I don't know, Glenn.
My tired old eyes can't see, but I think it's hasn't got sort of 2 sides on a sort of little shaft.
It does.
Yeah, it's been joined in a bit of harness or a bit of leather together.
That's
Maybe.
what that is.
So there it is. It's not a cufflink.
No?
Well, I'm not saying it's not a cufflink. I'll
Could
give
be
it a
an
hand.
old school cufflink, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with that. Could we call it a cufflink, Glenn?
I'll tell you about the pick here that I found out. Put it back in your hand. I've done a shit of a job of filming it. It's that, we're pretty confident it's a rivet.
Cufflink. Cufflink rivet.
Cufflink rivet. Like back in the day, a lot of blokes used to wear cufflinks out in the bush.
They're digging for gold in their nice shirts.
Yeah, just, let's go down the mine. My grandfather owned a pub, and
Wait, you would have been wearing cufflinks all the
yeah,
time?
I was. He used to wear a tie to work every day. Like, you know, he'd be public and he'd wear a tie to work. And anyhow, one time my grandmother heard a noise outside, so she ran outside in a nightie and she's yelling at Jack, Jack, because she thought someone was in the yard. And eventually Jack, my grandfather, came wandering out. But he'd taken time to put all his clothes on, including his shirt and tie, before he came outside. So he wasn't a man to get easily disturbed. Righto, Ant, good cufflink.
Thanks, mate.
Anyhow, we'll put it in our photo. We've got to hang a bit of gold next to it. That's all.
That's it.
Good on you, mate.
Cheers,
Right, our Ant's on the trail of the second cufflink. He can't believe that bloke would only go to work with one cufflink.
Terrible.
He's got a signal here, and just here, see that where I pulled the dirt in last week? That's where we dug our last signal last week that turned into a bit of gold. Why he likes this one is, it's not a big bold noise, but it's a definite signal. So now we'll pull him out and hopefully turn him into some. We're enjoying where we are because there's plenty of signals. We're passing over signals that are obviously not gold, but you can tell with the double D coil. And don't get upset and say dig them all. If you want to dig them all, you dig them all. In fact, you can come out here and dig the ones we've left if you like.
Yeah,
But
it's too hot for that. You've got to pick and choose.
we got a big paddock to cover, lots of targets. So, and we know we're not always getting it right, but that's how we play the game. I sound a bit bloody grumpy this morning, don't I? Must be.
Well, let's have a bit of gold to take
Yeah,
around.
that's right. Yeah, I'm going to have to eat a bit more sugar at lunchtime.
Well, it's never happy when you got car issues, is it? I think this.
Oh, that bloody thing, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I'll just up the insurance and torch it tonight. No, it's always someone worse than yourself. I was watching Sunrise TV show the other morning, and blokes were playing wheelchair rugby, and they were as happy as Larry's, and you know, they'd been dealt a pretty poor hand as far as their health and fitness goes. So good on to you boys, and I understand how lucky I am to be out in the bush on a day like this, have my mate with me looking for gold, and if we don't find any gold, we're not like the blokes that come halfway around the world, and if they didn't find any gold, they were in real strife, you know. They couldn't get home and they could barely feed themselves, so if we don't find any gold, we'll just join a long list of people that don't find any gold. And I know I bang on about it, but a lot of us don't find any gold. Shout out to my cousin Matty Egan, he sent me a text last night. He found 10 little bits with the 6,000.
Jumped up a lot now.
Sorry mate, I think I've got it on the film. So good on you, Matty. Matty's my first cousin and he's a bloody top little bloke.
10 bits, well done.
10 bits, yeah, 10 bits. And the button, strangely, yeah, he sent me a photo of the 10 bits and the button. So good on you, Matty, keep at it.
That's it.
And we've got a few trips picked out. One is going up to visit Matty, which he's gone up the list of it now that he's found a new spot with him. No, but we've got to go out with Bobcat and Kiwi, his mate. We want to go back and see our own buddy Graham Fuller. There's been no one missing up there around his area for a couple of months now, so he might have settled down. Harry Smith invited us up to a spot where he found a nice bit of gold in the heaps. So we've got a few blokes to hook up with. So and we've got to get back to it. We've got a paddock over in Maryborough where Anne found his biggest bit, and we want to go over there and we'll probably go over on Friday night, and I'll rough it. I'll sleep in the back of my ute on couch cushions, and Ant will rough it. He'll sleep in the RV and possibly won't be able to get the finance channel on the big screen. Always blokes Ant if the big screen doesn't work when he gets away from home in the RV.
Yep.
So
5G helps.
now, good work, Ant. Now, yeah.
Hear it now?
Yeah, I hear it all right, mate.
Hanging out.
I was worried when you got through all the gravel and you're on the silty ground practically, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm going to call it over.
Yep, I think so.
Got,
and that's another thing we were saying about the double D. So at the start it was a nice even tone, and now it's blanking out. So, you know, now I've dug 30 centimetres down. Now that we're right on top of it, you can tell that it's a ferrous signal. So
that's right. So
you know it's junk now.
Yeah, we know it's junk, and
so I can save my energy.
Yeah, so we're going to leave that. We're not going to keep going. There's just so many signals here, you know.
I could be digging for another 2 hours to get that out.
If you're in an area where you want to take it, and we've done it too, taking the junk out because there's gold next to it, but today, when it's 30 degrees, isn't the day to be doing it.
Nah.
Righto, thumbs down, mate.
Next one.
Righto, Ant, why am I filming it?
Well, I've got my first find first decent find of today.
Better than the cufflink.
Better than the cufflink, yeah. I think it's gonna do better than cufflink. It's not gold, but
Not
it is
gold.
silver.
Oh, good.
So I got myself a little Vicky here. Just cleaned it up. There we are.
Yeah.
Queen Victoria on there. But we haven't been able to get a date yet. But hopefully with any luck, at lunch we'll clean it up with a bit more water and see if we can get a date out of it.
That's fantastic, isn't it? So we've got a
Yeah,
coin.
racked. Bit of
Yeah,
silver.
bit of silver, silver coin. That's bloody great.
Happy
Thumbs up,
days.
mate. Yeah, good work. In the sort of silty ground too, see in there. So
Yeah.
you never know, like when you move, even when you move away from the diggings, you never know what you'll find if you're in an area that's been worked.
That's it. Happy
work,
with that.
mate.
Thanks, mate. Beautiful.
Can't. That's about as close as I can get.
There she is.
There she is.
Looks good in the sun.
What would Queen Victoria say if she was alive today, Ant? Let now this coffin.
Onwards.
Wow, mate.
Jemadale.
Jemadale.
Righto.
Go on, mate.
Well, I found the Vicky right here, and I'm obviously taking a lot of care going over this soil now, and I've just come across another nice signal here.
And we both call it not, it's definitely non-ferrous, whatever
Definitely
this.
non-ferrous,
It
yeah.
can be a shotgun shell, it can be a bullet
be.
shell, but
When I went over the target, I looked over at Glenn, he looked up at me, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, we got to
that's the
film this.
beauty of once we started using the external speakers, it keeps you more in touch with the bloke you detect them with, because when you've got the earphones on, they could be getting murdered by a koala
Yeah.
or something, or
Got
whatever.
there.
There's very little in Australia that can sneak up on you and kill you, apart from bloody Ivan Milat. So, so he's dead now, so you can say what you like about him. Yeah, Ant, so this will be bloody great if this is another one.
Turns out to be
Yeah.
very happy.
Wouldn't that be something?
Or a sovereign holder.
Yeah, or a bloody
With a
sovereign.
sovereign in there.
Yeah. It's good that it's got a little bit of depth in it. It's not just, you know, someone just hasn't pumped out the double barrel shotgun and sent the shell up against a tree.
Yeah.
This would be great. The coin was the first coin, the silver threepence was good. I was just about to call it on this area and go to another one. We've got a lot of areas we can target, and there's still a lot of signals here. Like,
Yeah, there are.
I'm bypassing signals all the time just by listening to them. So, and Ant's doing the same, of course.
Picking and choosing.
Yeah.
It's too hot.
So this will be great. And even if it's not, that's the great part about detecting. You know, you find something in the anticipation.
Yeah, my heart's pounding already.
Like I was telling you about Matty Egan, when he got the first bit and he was in a new spot, first bit settles your nerves, and then every signal after that. You
Oh, there it is.
Where is it,
It's
mate?
Coin.
Oh, it's a coin, you little ripper.
Look at him, right there. Can you see it?
I can see it. I'm in the sun a bit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, let's
Right
bring him
on.
out to the world. What do we got?
What do we halfpenny bomb, Conley?
I think you could be right then.
Who do you
Ooh.
see, Ant?
Another Vicky.
Any date? You can get a date on that one.
Oh no,
That's
God.
silver. That's a shilling.
That's not a Vicky.
That's a shilling.
I've
That's
never
a young.
found one of these.
That's definitely shilling there.
Yeah?
That's a silver shilling. That's not a halfpenny at all. That's
No.
better bloody still. Your man
Yeah, it's
was
another
quite-
silver.
Your man was quite
Look at
rich.
it. Oh, look at this.
that.
Look at it shine up.
I'll just camp around because I'm getting in the sun all the time, mate. Come
Alright,
over here
yep.
a little bit. Yeah, come over in here. That's
Oh, we're
better.
definitely going to get a date out of this one.
Oh, that's all right.
I hope, actually. What have we got? We have 1875.
1875 shilling, eh?
Beautiful.
Silver shilling.
Gorgeous. I love the way silver comes out the ground. It
Yeah.
just shines right up.
Look at that.
Yeah, the date right there. Can you pick it up?
Yeah.
There we go. 18.
They're very decorative coins, aren't they? Very.
Yeah. 75. 1 shilling.
Now, what we've been doing, and is, you know, when you find a coin, you're rubbing across the surface of it. Obviously not the best thing to do, but these older coins, they're terrible worn. You're not going to do much change condition much. If you are lucky enough to find a gold coin or find a good and pristine coin in pristine condition, keep your fingers up to the side and don't rub the surface across them. But I can guarantee that this coin, Anne's not looking to sell it. Anne's not, this is going up in the cabinet.
That's it.
And Anne will be showing there'll be this big string of young bloody children. So there he is.
Yeah, beautiful. Happy days. 2 bits of silver.
That's bloody great though, wasn't it? Yeah,
nice
looked like a halfpenny when I first seen him, and I was thinking halfpenny because people just weren't that rich. You know, they could afford to lose a shilling and a threepence. So
wow.
so if you want to go down there now, I'll finish this for you.
I bet you will.
Good on you, mate.
That's
Good
awesome.
work. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, I reckon.
2 thumbs up. 2
Good.
coins in 10 minutes. Happy
Good on you,
days.
mate. Good
Let's
work.
get another.
Righto, Ant, explain to the people why you're tormenting me.
Well, I've got 2 silver coins. And how many you got, Glenn? And I've now...
We've got a signal here, and it's just a small triangle, like a metre triangle from where the other ones are. This one's probably not quite as nice as the other two, you know.
It's funny because here it sounds quite nice. This spot right there, but if I move back... Oh, there might be a coin spill, Glenn.
Yeah. No, I actually like that one better.
Yeah.
The one back there.
But then there was something else here.
Yeah, something made it blank a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, but I like when you were on that second
one
part.
in the middle right here sounded good, didn't it?
It did sound good. It sounded bloody nice and round and silvery. And
well, let's see what we got.
I'll tell you what, you'll be happy about that. You won't be any more happy than me, I tell you. It's bloody great. You served a good apprenticeship.
Yeah, no, doing good, doing good.
Yeah,
I've got a lot to thank you for. All of my detecting knowledge to you.
What I think a fair thing would be 3 silver coins.
Mate, they're all yours.
No, mate. Well, we've only got 2 at the moment.
Yeah.
I've written. That one's gone to sleep, but he's not up in the dirt, is he? No, we're back.
In here, oh. Maybe one of them. I reckon there's a couple of signals.
Yeah, I do too, yeah. But as I just said in the previous little bit of footage, the anticipation is great. You know, we were having a laugh and having a good time. We've got away from the car, so we're pretty well committed when we walk back to the car to have our lunch. Ant's put his water bottle in, but when we walk back to the car to have our lunch, and I get outside a 6-pack of donuts, we've got to work out whether we come back in here or go to another spot. So we generally where I park my car if I'm coming in here is sort of up by the road, but because Ant's car is well, you see it rolls by the side of the road, you think, what's that bloke doing? You know, you see an old Toyota, you think, oh, he'll be fencing or shooting or something like that. So we've had to park Ants around on a side road and walk in. So it's an even bigger walk in. And we came over an electric fence with a hot wire on it. And the more astute of you will have picked up from the film that I'm taller than Ant, so I stepped across it, and fortunately I was riding high and the wire was up between my legs. And then Anne hopped across it, and to my great disappointment, it brushed him up inside the leg, but it wasn't on. It wasn't. It would.
I would have got a bloody big shock if it was.
Yeah, it would have been great. I wish I'd been filming it. Yeah, we would have got a few views. Yeah. So. I think when you first go on that dirt, it's just giving a sort of reaction to the red dirt in it, mate.
Yeah.
Because it sort of ground balances itself out.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is. This might be the cashed in. I was watching on a metal detecting show, like a history show in England. I can't remember the number the bloke said, but they dug a coin in a pit, and then they dug another coin, and then they dug a third coin, and the bloke said, one more coin and it becomes more or less a treasure site, and we've got to report it and have people come out and pass it clear to dig. So we're free to go, Ant. You can dig 10 out of here, and I won't need to report it. No need.
We're up to get another one.
Oh
Three.
yeah, 2 right.
3 would be amazing.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to dig a sovereign, well, you know what a great way to spend the last day of your life.
Well, it's deep down. It's
Well, get stuck right into it like you're digging a post hole, and we'll get it out. You know, I get people on the edge of their seat.
puncture the thing.
One day we'll do a some sort of live show where people can. I know you've done a couple of it, where people can talk to us and say what about that time, and we'll have a bit of a day out.
Oh, I think the subscribers would love that, Glenn.
Yeah, well, I'll get
live chat.
I'll get lick it up and.
The Sunday best out.
Yeah.
Oh.
A mate of mine wrote a song, and his brother started going out with a widow, and he was always he was a rough dresser, you know. He's never. And then one day he turned up at a show, and he had a suit on, and his brother said to him, "Where'd you get the suit?" And he said, "I belong to so and so." He's that woman he was going out with belonged to her husband, but obviously he died. He's about my size, so I'm wearing his suit. So they're out on the town, and the bloke's brother, close your ears now, this is only faintly rude. He wrote a song called He Was Looking for a Woman in a Dead Man's Suit. and you can believe yourself if you edit that out. Yeah, but it tickled me, I thought, yeah. Anyhow, it wasn't the #1 hit. But,
Drums in there or something.
Yeah. All right, mate, what do we...
Well, I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging, and it's still in there.
No, I reckon it's out, isn't it? No, you're down the side of it, are you?
It's on the right here.
Yeah. Here, use this pinpointer.
Ah, here we go.
Got him out.
It's completely blanked out.
Yeah. Oh well. Who's not
We're very close to it.
Not a cash tin or something like that.
Yep. No, it's definitely not a cash tin. I can see it.
There it is, mate. What is it though?
It is a huge, ginormous.
Is it
nail.
for a trolley? Trolley line, like a spike for holding the trolley, or just a spike?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I think it's just a spike. The ones that hold the line down shorter than that, and they have a little spur on the side, like they're off-centered, so they're hammered in.
It's got a spur.
Right, I'll call it a trolley spike for the moment. I'd say it's as close to a trolley spike as that other rivet is to a cufflink. Right, mate, there's the hole, and I'll fill that in. What I was going to
I'm going to check it though, because I think there might be.
What I was going to say
another
is over at Maryborough, when the not the gold rush, but when the detecting rush was on strongly, someone got in on the Maryborough golf course, and must have thought, and they must have been on the side. The grass must have been on the side of an area they've been getting gold.
That big thing.
So they detected across the Maryborough golf course, and of course they put in a few holes like this, like Ant's got, which
On the golf course.
yeah, on the golf course.
Oh, jeez, that's a bit.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I don't even know who it was, but it made the papers, and I remember reading about it. Because,
That's
you know,
funny.
straight away you think, well, if they were finding gold on the Maryborough golf course, perhaps I should be slipping in after dark and having a go. Right, okay.
Oh, no silver for that time, but
Yeah, but it
That's
was
all right.
a lot of fun, mate, and I had a spell.
That's it.
Good work.
I talk to this Glenn. What's going on?
Well, Ant, we're making our way back to the car, and we're dragging our toes a bit. We haven't found any
bugger.
gold. You found those 2 bits of silver, the English shilling and the English threepence.
Yep.
You're ahead in the race and still were. I haven't found any gold, but I just dug this, and I haven't cleaned it. It just plucked out. You can see where I give it a scrape, but I don't think I've damaged the surface. So I think that'll rub out.
Yep.
I suspect it's some sort of token, a penny token.
Yep.
It's a bit heavier than a penny.
Yeah.
So,
It's got to be a token.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those clean up really nicely, really quickly too.
Very quickly.
I don't know whether we'll be able to get enough detail with a spit and shine, But
unfortunately we don't have enough water because it's so
But,
bloody hot.
ants
We
drank
will
all the
clean it
water.
out.
We had we had gallons of water, and with the Homer Simpson style.
Oh.
I said, save a bit of that water, Anthony. He said, no, wrong, Flanders. I'll drink, I'll drink it all. Right.
Well, it's starting to look
Oh,
good.
geez, it's got some sort of scene on it. It started to look really, really good. I'm really taken by it. It's not a Holloway's one or anything like that.
No, it's something else.
It's
Looks like a farmhouse and a gate.
yeah, that's right. It's got a sort of little scene on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see up the top it says Toll. T-O-L-L there. Toll.
But not say Toll Holdings and be a TNT one or something like that. It's a good find though.
It's a
I'm
great find.
really pleased with it.
I've never seen one like this before.
Ant and I were detecting back to the
Toll gate.
so it's toll gate. It'll be a place like you'd think, you know, like some sort of commemorative thing or something like that. Oh, that'd be great if it's a token to go through a toll gate. How good would that be? It's not impossible. You know,
You
imagine.
reckon?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, they had
Well, they
tolls.
had toll gates even on the Glenlyon Road to pay for the bridge. They had a toll gate. You had to pay to get through that. That's how they financed the bridge. So if it's an
There you
English
go.
one,
Um,
that'd be bloody great.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to clean it up a bit more.
I reckon it'll clean up a lot.
Yeah,
I reckon it'll clean up a lot.
that's a ripper find, Glenn.
First thing we do is got to get a date.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm really pleased with that ant.
yeah, good job, buddy.
That-
Well done, thumbs up.
Yeah, well that jumps over the top of my pick head.
Yeah, definitely above the button too.
Yeah. Oh, that'll clean up well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going the two
Well
thumbs
done,
up, Ant.
Yes,
Go
well
on,
done,
mate.
buddy. Good job.
Thanks.
Let's go have some lunch.
Yeah, too right. Right, Ant, tell me what we found.
Well, we've been doing some cleaning. We've been thoroughly cleaning and looking and spit shining and rubbing it on our pants and everything. And we finally cleaned it up well enough to read it. And there we go. This is, it says Newtown Tollgate, Joseph's.
So that's one side, and
Yep.
when we get near the car, we'll be able to take a photo and Google it.
You can make out a hut or a little house there, and a gate there as well.
Right, flip it over and tell us what else you know, mate.
Now, that's the other side of it, and you can clearly see Demon's Land, 1855 down the bottom, and I can make out a A and an N.
And I can see looking through the camera. I think who is it? You know, they have it outside courts. You know,
Yeah.
justice or whatever, holding the scales of
holding the
justice
scales, exactly.
with the blindfold on. So
It looks like it could say Van Diemen's Land,
Wouldn't that be something,
1855.
yeah.
That'd be
so
incredible.
fascinating token,
Yeah.
a ripper of a token,
Awesome.
in really good with really good detail on it.
Yeah.
So
We'll Google it as soon as we get some reception and see
Yeah.
what we can find out about the Newtown Tollgate Joseph's token from 1855. But ripper fine, Glenn.
Yeah,
well
too
done.
right. Yeah. And the little bloke that gets that, he'll be well pleased with it when he puts it in his cabinet.
You sure will,
Good on
man.
you, mate.
Thumbs up.
Righto, we've come back to the car. It's 20 minutes to 3. We're just letting you know where we're at in the day.
Still haven't had lunch. And I'm dying.
Ant's dying of thirst and hunger.
Glenn's dying.
He's
a bit of
I'm ready for a drink. Ant's got through 2 litres of water he carried with him.
Yeah. Glenn's a camel. Doesn't
Yeah,
do
well,
much.
I'll be ready for a drink when I get in the car. So, no gold, ripper of a token, which we're going to Google in a minute.
Yep.
2 ripper and silver
Silver
coins that Ant
coins.
found.
Button.
Button, various things that I've picked up.
Big head.
No value. That was pickhead, he said. He didn't say dickhead. Black glass, some sort of case bottle, you know.
Mine lost this off his trousers.
Ant found a modern day shipper. Gemma's cushion cover.
There you go.
So he
know
claims
what
that's
that
from
was.
the 1850s. The Gemma's cushion covers have been from the 1850s.
Don't know what that was doing. Whoosh.
Yeah, so
Various other things
this,
in
which
there.
is not a ginger beer, but is an ink. It's got a stamp on the side. Unfortunately, half it's missing.
Damn it.
But it's only a curio. But there's been some writing there.
You don't recognise it?
Well, I reckon it's an ink bottle. I don't. It's not. I don't reckon it's a ginger beer. But it would have been nice to read that little bit of writing. So have lunch, have a spell.
Yep.
Because we shifted back into Ant's car, we're limited as to where we go as far as off-roading.
Yep.
And also, by the time we put the car lock on, put the wheel lock on, put the steering lock on. Take this of the chauffeur's hats from down from the window. We don't like leaving it by the side of the road. Anyhow, lunchtime.
Lunchtime, let's do it.
Go on, Ant.
Cheers, mate.
I'm bloody hungry too.
Yeah, me too.
We're at our last spot for the day, and when I say at, all we've done is walk from the car into the bush about 30 metres, because we're both feeling in the legs after our trip out this morning.
Yeah.
We come back to the car, had a late lunch, laid on the ground, watched our video, generally had a bit of a picnic and a bit of a spell.
Yep.
So right here is likely looking ground. It's all broken down quartz. And you'll see bloody thousands of acres of ground like that. But interestingly, above it here, someone's dug. There's where they put a little costine in. Put a big costine in here. Here's another one where they put a costine. And what they've tried to do is cut the reef. So the reef runs north and south. They've put a costine in east and west. That one, this one, another one just below us. So it makes me think, if they were putting these costines in on the reef, they would have tested this ground down here, which is this. You know, there's a lot of old buck quartz, but this sort of ground, they must have got a tiny little bit of colour in that sort of ground when they're prospected, which is why they've searched for the reef that's shed it. So here's another costine here, just a shallow one. Costines are just fences that are dug against the run of the reef to try and find the reef. And see there, that's reef stone that they've cut here. So they find the reef, get the stone up, take a crushing, hand crushing, and look for gold. So we're going to detect here simply because it's easy, it's close to the car, it's relatively flat. But the other thing that interests me is these stringy bark trees. I'm not quite sure what's been marking these stringy bark trees. See how it's been roughed up there. Here's another one that's been roughed up. You can see it's been the bark. Here's a good example over here. Here's a great example here. Something's been scratching the bark. And see here, that's all the bark that's been shed off. So I suspect it's probably birds making a nest, looking for a nest. Stringy barks are, you'll see habitat trees for koalas, and stringy barks will go up the stringy bark. They don't eat the stringy bark leaves, but that's where they sleep. They go up, find a fork in the tree. Bark's a lot softer than being in a manigum, you know, having the hard bark against their bum. The ones they do eat, so they get the stringy bark. So I suspect that this was birds that were doing this. But if you want the theory that some blokes will give you, you imagine you're a panther about this high, and you're going. So possibly black jays, something like that, getting bark for the nest, possibly panther. Hopefully there's a little bit of gold down there. Righto, Ant, let's get stuck into it.
Let's do it, mate. Good luck.
Mate. Righto, often when you're out the bush and your digger signal is 6 inches deep, you work hard and you think, oh God, it's that hard caper digging these signals. Well, imagine if you were these blokes, they've been sinking on the reef here, and they've been digging deep shafts and costines, and most of the time I suspect they've struck the reef but they haven't found gold. This is an indication of the ground that they've been looking for. They've got on the reef. See, there's a bit of slate running through that one. They've taken this quartz up, they've hand crushed it here, and then they've dished it, and they've been looking, frantically trying to see a little bit of colour in the stone to justify what they were doing. So they would crush the stone up. That's been the outside of the quartz. The quartz has been run like that. So they've crushed all this stone looking for the slightest bit of colour. So when we complain about digging signals, imagine you put in a day, 2 days, I don't know how long it'll take us to dig these sort of shafts. Now I've got a signal over here, but I wanted to show you that ground because was a very good. See, there's sandstone that's got quartz running through it. It's sort of in crystally there, the quartz. But they've been working solidly, finding the reef, digging the reef up, and then getting nothing, right? And you can see that they haven't really struck it because there's lots of shafts and lots of diggings, but there's not an area where they've open cut, and there's not an area where they've, to my eye, that they've taken enough dirt out to say, yeah, this is where they found gold. Now over here, I've got a signal in one of their dumps. Because they're close to the road, this particular one here, the road sport or someone has dozed it back. There'll be a hole underneath is where our ant's probably going to disappear, and they've dozed it back and cut the shaft. Here's the sort of ground they were digging out. That's slates and that's run on the outside of the quartz. So that's the grey slate that they'd be looking for. Here's my signal. Sounds all right. I doubt very much it's gold because I can't see evidence that they've found gold here. But I just want to show you where we are. So if you're out with us today, this is what we're up to. Scratching around here. It's not the greatest spot in the world, but we've pretty well run our race. We're sticking up close to the car and trying for that one in a miracle shot.
It's not the worst signal in the world though, is it?
No, it's not.
Even got a bit louder.
And the thing about it is, when you are poking around in old diggings, we've ably proved today that gold's not your only prize. You know,
Yeah, you never know what you can find.
You never know what sort of relic or coin you might find.
Yep.
It always surprises me that it sounds a bit ghoulish, but there's not more bodies turn up or bones turn up. You know. No, he's shut down. But you imagine back in the day, you're out in the bush. People are fighting over gold. They're fighting over their claims. They're punching on. Surely someone murdered or died, and they've thought, well, no sense dragging this bloke 30 mile back in to the town. We'll just leave him here. There's a spot further down there in a gully, and I went down. I used to go there a lot, and at one stage after Trace died, I'd go there a lot and sit up. And when you go through the gully, it's all been worked, and it's been worked over a long time. But if one day, for no particular reason, I climbed right up the wall of the gully, went right up to the top, and there's a grave there. And what I think has happened is, it's not, a body hasn't been dumped, it's been buried there. There's someone buried in the grave. They've lived there for a long time. One of the people have died. They've thought, we'll take him up, put him up on the top of the hill, and he can look down on us, or he or she can look down on us, you know, and be above us all. And it's a great spot to be, because when I was sitting up there, and I'd be sitting up next to where this grave is, and the reason I know it's a grave, there's stones like that in your typical gravestone plot, covered over so the body can't be disturbed by foxes or anything like that. And then on one end, there were two stones. I can't give you a good example, but there was a stone standing like that, much bigger, big flat stone, and then another flat stone across him like that. But this one had come down, this one had dropped off, and it was obviously a cross, you know, so obviously a person that had some sort of religion sitting like that. So that was at the head, the headstones are still there. When I came home and told Lyndall about it, and my daughter, she said, we'll go out and dig it up. And I said, I doubt very much that they buried him with all his bloody gold, and also it's against the law to interfere with graves. But I've never told her. This is the first time, apart from Lyndall, I've ever told anyone about it. But it's a very peaceful, great spot to be. And when I was trying to get my head back together, that's where I used to go.
Nice.
Anyhow, this is not gold.
This is not gold, no. It's bottoming out on us. It's probably going to be a bolt or something. No. In the hand.
Oh yeah, what have we got here? And it wasn't on ferrous either, so it was not even a... There he is, just a bit of rust of whatever that is.
Rust nugget.
I just wanted to show you what we were doing, where we're doing it. It'd be nice if he turned in, he was a nice little piece of gold. But he's not. Back to it, mate.
Back to it. Still might snag one before the end of the day.
Yeah,
Fingers and toes.
I
Cross everything.
I think we've had our highlights, but
I think so.
I'm going to head up across there a bit and follow this line along and try
Give it
and get
another
something.
10 minutes and...
Yeah, 10 minutes and head for home, mate.
Let's do it.
Righto, Ant. Good work.
Cheers, mate.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Righto, it's the end of the day, Ant and I've made it safely back home again. No gold, so if you've gone out this week and you haven't found out any gold, or if you've gone out in the last couple of months and haven't found any gold, it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And we were on a good spot today. You know, we were on good terms with ourselves going out. I was sure that we'd get a bit of gold, and I wouldn't have been surprised if we'd got 3 or 4 or 5 bits of gold, but we dug plenty of signals, we left plenty of signals, we laughed, we cried, and then we cried and we cried. And we walked back to the car at 3 o'clock. But we did find 3 things
We certainly did.
of interest. Ant excelled himself. Ant started the rush, found a silver English threepence, Queen Victoria. There she is there.
Beautiful, very happy.
So Ant was very pleased with that.
Yep.
And then, joy of joys,
Doubled up.
when he was right within 2 or 3 feet of that, he dug another silver coin, another young Victoria on it. What date did you say that was, Ant?
18, I think it's 75.
That was an English shilling.
Yep.
As I said last week, Australia didn't get their own. We didn't get our own coinage until 1910. So this is the sort of, we were using English money. So we moved across the paddock. It was a great big broad paddock, and couldn't get ourselves settled. And then I dug this token,
It's popped up.
and this came up. Ant cleaned it up. R. Joseph, Newtown Tollgate. So when we got back to the car, we Googled it. The noble R. Joseph, he was done in England for receiving stolen goods. He was transported to Van Diemen's Land, Tasmania.
Convict.
He was a convict. He got it.
14 years?
Yeah, well, he was sentenced to 14 years. He got his ticket of leave. He got so then he was allowed to work in the community, and then he got his full. He'd done his time. He got the tender to have the toll gate at Newtown on the bridge to pay for the bridge. So R. Joseph, for 3 years, he got these coins printed, made, minted, and then you dealt with him. You couldn't get through the toll gate unless you had a token like this. So that was his lurk. He'd give you a token.
1855.
Yeah,
This one.
1855, and I'm not sure why he's got the scales of justice on the back. Scales of justice, Van Diemen's Land. This might be a bit of a nod to the fact that he was a convict. Is the reason he's got that, you know.
Maybe.
Because if you go to the court in Melbourne or whatever, you'll see justice out the side. Justice is blindfolded, which means simply that she doesn't discriminate. She doesn't know. She just weighs up right and wrong. That's her only thing. So now that I've said that, I reckon that was probably a nod to the fact that he'd been a convict and did his time. So Ant's going to take that down and put it in his cabinet.
Very much so.
Good on you, Ant. You'll look after it.
Sure will.
When you're doing my eulogy, don't forget these things.
My eulogy will be 6 hours long.
So they're the 3 things we found, and it's not all about gold. We wish that we'd found a bit of gold, but I'll still sleep easy tonight, and I'll still eat my tea. Yeah, we had a good day.
Yep.
And even if we hadn't found anything like that, we had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of fun together.
Enjoyed it.
And that's the story of detecting. It's bloody hard to find any gold, and don't let anyone else fool you differently.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's our treasure.
Yep. Beautiful.
Have a look at these babies. Now, Greg Thomas from Mass Print, he was kind enough to print up 300 of these.
Victorian gold hunters.
So
Love it.
you'll be sticking those on the back of your car, peel them off, stick them on the back of your car, stick them on your family album, anywhere. Great job, Greg.
Thank you very much, Greg.
We're very thankful. We've got another man, Jeremy. isn't it Jeremy? Is his
Yeah,
first name? Jeremy.
I've seen him across your draft.
Yeah. What my idea was.
Well, anyway, let's leave it a secret.
All right.
Secret.
So anyhow, the boys have cleverly put YouTube on it so that you're driving along and you think, what the freaking hell is Victorian Gold Hunters? You see YouTube, you get on Victorian Gold Hunters, look it up. Next minute you're hooked on watching us. That's it. That's our plan.
That's the ploy.
We haven't got a system to get these out yet.
Yeah, working on it.
We're working out on a way. So anyhow,
right.
all these that I've got here, I'm free. So if you meet me, so you got one of those stickers, say here you go, mate. So look at that.
Beautiful.
We're big time, man.
We're big time. We got t-shirts, we got stickers.
Right, so
I also wanted to do a big shout out to Carla Tyso. I think she's our biggest fan over in the UK. She always comments on all of our
you do,
videos.
Carla. I've noticed, yes.
Yeah, lots of emojis. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your support.
They're like that in the UK. A bloke said to me, he said, I went over to the UK. He said, no, he didn't go to the UK, but he said, I know that this happens in the UK, and he wanted to go to the UK. He said, you go over there, you go to a pub. He said, next thing they take you home and you can stay the night in their house and they'll give you something to eat and drink. And I said, did that happen to you? And he said, no, it happened to my sister.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody's going to be so hospitable when we go over.
So, anyhow, so good on you, Carla. Thanks very, very much.
Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, so sweep out the spare room for when we come over. Now, I wanted to thank a bloke and mention a bloke called Mark Leverington.
Yes,
Mark said last week, I mentioned him without using his name. Mark said that he'd been going, watching our videos for a year and found his first bit of gold, and thanked the wisdom of Ant and Glenn. And I've never had my name and wisdom used in the same sentence before. Only once with the nuns. The nuns said to some one of my little mates, I thought you'd have the wisdom not to get around with Glenn Conroy. So, so good on you, Mark. Well done, Mark Leverington.
Congratulations.
Now, this is a nugget that was our consolation nugget, and it's a nice little fat fella.
It is.
We've contacted Rebecca Pike, the mother of Teo Pike, on my trip from where I live to where I live with Josie. Rebecca is fortunately in the middle of the journey. I'll call in, give her a ring, call in, and give that to her to give to Teo. So well done, Teo, well done, Rebecca, and well done to everyone else that this is still left from the flood appeal. $705 raised by everyone for the flood appeal.
Donated,
which
is great.
It's already done. Ant's bloody, he's on the ball.
And we've sent the nuggets to Paul.
Oh yeah.
And
can we use his last name yet or not?
No, you want to say anonymous.
Paul Anonymous, yeah.
Paul.
And one Paul, the other Paul.
Yeah, that's what I said. Leave it anonymous, because there was a couple of Pauls, but sorry, Paul, it was anonymous to the one.
Yeah, well, Paul Anonymous
Paul,
nearly necked himself because he thought he'd won it. So bad luck, Paul.
Also, I just wanted to say, Paul, who won the two nuggets, he said that he's also going to give back the kindness too, and he's going to donate the value of the gold nuggets, so 2.2 odd grams. He's going to donate the value to the flood appeal as well. So we'll nearly have raised nearly $1,000.
Yeah, which is all right, isn't it?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So thank you very much, Paul.
Good on you, Paul, too. Bad luck, Paul won.
Yes. There'll be more giveaways.
There will be indeed. Sue Fanos, I thought today I'd bloody find a bit of gold and send it your way. Don't give up. We'll get it between you and I. We'll get a bit of gold.
Yeah, good luck, Sue. You'll get your first bit. John, I'm glad you're on the same diet as me, but I hope you're doing. I hope you're doing a lot of work, mate. Because it's, if you eat as many calories as me, you've got to do a lot of work as well. And as they say, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. So, righto, Ant. Anyone else to think? That's it.
Righto, mate. I'll thank you.
Wrapping it up.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Ant.
much.
Good day.
Awesome day.
Enjoy myself.
Thank you very much.
I'm out of car.
We'll see you next time. Hopefully your car will be all right.
Yeah, they're right. I think it's gone. I mean, I think it's like, when you go inside and you're visiting your grandma and she's upstairs and, she's laying in bed and you're saying, oh, geez, you're looking great, grandma, you're looking great. And then when you're going out, you bang your head and you think, I'll never get a freaking coffin out in these steps. So, righto, I think that's my car. Righto, man. Next time.
Bye-bye.